Are you ready for an exhilarating adventure? Today, we embark on a journey tracking down the most fearless, captivating, and ruthless 5 commanders in history. This video will delve not only into their strategies and triumphs, but also into the depths of mercilessness exhibited by these unforgettable figures of the past. Within the dusty pages of time, these leaders renowned for their courage and determination reshaped historical fabric with their own hands. Yet, a crucial truth remains. These commanders not only pushed boundaries for victory, but also drew attention with their ruthless tactics. At the pinnacle of war and leadership, these names were both awe-inspiring and chilling, leaving an indelible mark on the turning points of the past. Are you ready to witness these unforgettable tales? Let's embark on this breathtaking and captivating journey into the 5 most ruthless commanders in history together. Genghis Khan was a Mongolian leader and ruler who lived in the 13th century. The founder of the Mongol Empire, Genghis Khan laid the foundations of this state, which is one of the largest empires in history. Genghis Khan's birth name was Temujin. He was born in 1162 in the Deshti Kipchak region of Mongolia. His father, Yasuge, was a leader trying to unite the Mongolian tribes. However, Yasuge was poisoned and killed by enemy tribes. After this event, Temujin and his family were exiled by the tribe. Temujin struggled with difficulties during his exile years. However, he had a strong leadership ability. He quickly gained the support of the tribe and established his leadership. Temujin took the title of Genghis Khan in 1206 by uniting the Mongolian tribes. Genghis Khan showed great success as a soldier and statesman. He modernized the Mongol army and built one of the strongest armies in the world. Genghis Khan set out on a campaign to the north of China in 1211 and captured a large part of China. He then turned to Central Asia and destroyed states such as the Karakhanids, Khwarezmians, and Ghaznavids. Genghis Khan's armies advanced as far as Hungary in 1241. Genghis Khan is also known as a ruthless leader in addition to his military achievements. The armies of Genghis Khan carried out large-scale massacres in the places they campaigned. Millions of people were killed in these massacres. The cruelty of Genghis Khan reached an unprecedented scale in history. Some of the cruelties committed by Genghis Khan are as follows. In 1218, the Mongol army that besieged the city of Otrar refused to surrender the city after the city refused to surrender. The city was looted and its people were killed. The estimated number of those killed is close to 1 million. In 1220, the Mongol army that captured the capital of the Karakhanids, Samarkand, looted the city and killed its people. The estimated number of those killed is close to 1 million. In 1221, the Mongol army that captured the capital of the Khwarezmians, Kharazm, looted the city and killed its people. The estimated number of those killed is close to 1 million. The cruelty of Genghis Khan left a deep mark on history. These atrocities continued until the collapse of the Mongol Empire. There are various views on the reasons for Genghis Khan's cruelties. According to some historians, Genghis Khan's cruelties are due to his being a ruthless leader. Other historians, on the other hand, believe that Genghis Khan's cruelties are due to the war traditions of the time. The cruelty of Genghis Khan is one of the shame pages of humanity. These atrocities have been cited many times throughout history, emphasizing the destructive effects of wars and violence. Vlad the Impaler was an important historical figure who lived in the late 15th century in the region of Wallachia, Romania. He resisted the oppression of the Ottoman Empire, but is remembered for his cruel governing style and merciless acts. Known as Vlad III or Vlad Dracula, Tepesh is particularly remembered for his savage methods during warfare and his rule. Among Tepesh's most infamous cruelties was impaling people on stakes. This gruesome method, termed impaling, spread terror and fear, contributing significantly to Vlad's terrifying reputation. While some suggest this method had a symbolic meaning aimed at instilling fear among the populace, others argue it was part of his military strategy. Tepesh's ruthless policies extended beyond impalement. He harshly punished his enemies, pillaged cities, subjected people to torture, and executed war captives, maintaining a tyrannical regime. Although these methods created fear and compliance among the populace, they failed to establish long-term stability. However, accounts of Vlad's atrocities and mercilessness might have been exaggerated over time. Some historians argue that his actions might have been exaggerated by his adversaries, and the complex political situation of the era and his strategies against the Ottoman Empire should also be considered. Vlad the Impaler's life has maintained significant presence in popular culture even after his death. Particularly, Bram Stoker's novel Dracula portrayed Vlad's character as a fictional vampire figure, deeply influencing his story and transforming it into a widespread myth worldwide. In conclusion, Vlad the Impaler has left a significant mark in history due to his ruthless rule and cruelty. Yet, drawing a clear picture of his governing style remains challenging due to the mix of facts and legends. His story is noteworthy for showcasing the intricacies of history and the changing narratives over time. Pol Pot was a Cambodian communist leader who lived from 1925 to 1998. As the leader of the Khmer Rouge, which ruled Cambodia from 1975 to 1979, he led the country into a genocide and ethnic cleansing. Pol Pot was born in 1925 in a village in the Pria Vihear province of northeastern Cambodia. He was educated at a priest school during the French colonial period. In 1949, he went to Paris, where he became acquainted with communist ideology. He returned to Cambodia in 1953 and joined the communist movement. In 1967, he became one of the founders of the Khmer Rouge. The Khmer Rouge was a guerrilla movement fighting to establish a communist state in Cambodia. In 1970, with the overthrow of Cambodian King Norodom Sihanouk, the Khmer Rouge gained strength. In 1975, the Khmer Rouge captured the Cambodian capital of Phnom Penh. Pol Pot became Prime Minister of the Democratic People's Republic of Cambodia. When Pol Pot came to power, he launched a socialist revolution in Cambodia. This revolution fundamentally changed the way of life of the Cambodian people. Pol Pot aimed to turn Cambodia into a peasant state. He emptied the cities and sent people to rural areas. Most of these people died of hard labor and hunger. Pol Pot closed all educational and cultural institutions in Cambodia. He banned religion, art, and literature. These bans led to the destruction of Cambodian culture. Pol Pot carried out an ethnic cleansing in Cambodia. He targeted the country's intellectuals, bourgeoisie, and Chinese. Hundreds of thousands of people from these groups were killed. Pol Pot's cruel rule led to the deaths of an estimated 2 million people in Cambodia. These deaths are considered one of the worst genocides of the 20th century. Pol Pot was overthrown in 1979 with the invasion of Cambodia by Vietnam. In 1998, he was captured and killed in a village. Pol Pot was one of the most cruel leaders humanity has ever faced. His rule inflicted deep wounds on Cambodia. Pol Pot's memory still lives on in the memory of the Cambodian people. The causes of Pol Pot's cruelty are a complex and controversial issue. Some argue that Pol Pot had a psychopathic personality and that this is why he behaved cruelly. Others argue that Pol Pot was under the influence of communist ideology and that he acted in a way that this ideology required. While it is not possible to make a definitive statement about the causes of Pol Pot's cruelty, it is clear that his personality and ideology played a significant role in this behavior. Pol Pot's legacy marks a dark period for Cambodia. His cruel rule profoundly affected the lives of the Cambodian people. Pol Pot's legacy also shows the dangers that humanity faces. Pol Pot's story is a reminder of the dangers of authoritarian regimes and totalitarian ideologies. Ivan the Terrible, also known as Ivan IV, was the Tsar of Russia from 1530 to 1584. He is known for both his military achievements and his cruelty. Ivan was only 3 years old when he ascended to the throne after the death of his father, Vasily III. However, Russia was in a state of chaos at the time. The country was struggling with internal conflicts and external threats. Ivan managed to keep the country together under these difficult circumstances. Ivan was also a successful military leader. He conquered the Kazan Khanate in 1552, the Astrakhan Khanate in 1556, and the Crimean Khanate in 1582. These conquests allowed Russia to reach the Black Sea and become a major power. However, Ivan's cruelty is his most remembered trait. He did not hesitate to brutally eliminate anyone he saw as an opponent. The most well-known example of this cruelty was the oprichnina policy, which was implemented between 1565 and 1572. The oprichnina was a policy that Ivan initiated to create an army and bureaucracy loyal to him. This army and bureaucracy, known as the oprichniki, killed thousands of people on Ivan's orders. These massacres created a great human tragedy in Russia. Ivan's cruelty resonated not only in Russia, but also in Europe. Ivan began to be known in Europe as the Bloody Tsar. The reasons for Ivan's cruelty are not fully known. However, some historians believe that the traumas Ivan experienced in his childhood lay at the root of this cruelty. Ivan's father, Vasily III, had imprisoned him and his mother after marrying Ivan's mother, Elena Glinskaya. Ivan also saw the death of his mother during this period. These events may have opened deep wounds in Ivan's soul. Ivan the Terrible is one of the most important figures in Russian history. However, his cruelty overshadows his legacy. Joseph Stalin's cruelty. Joseph Stalin was a dictator who ruled the Soviet Union from 1924 to 1953. During that time, he transformed the country into a major industrial and military power, but he was also responsible for the deaths of millions of people. The most prominent example of Stalin's cruelty was the Great Purge, a campaign of repression known as the Great Purge. During this campaign, Stalin imprisoned or executed members of the Communist Party and other state institutions on charges of treason and sabotage. The victims of this campaign included former Soviet leaders, generals, artists, and scientists. Image of Joseph Stalin. Another significant example of Stalin's cruelty was the Gulag system. The Gulag was a system of labor camps located in the Soviet Union. In these camps, political prisoners, criminals, and ordinary citizens were forced to work under harsh conditions and inhumane circumstances. Millions of people died in the Gulag. Stalin's cruelty resonated not only in the Soviet Union, but also around the world. Stalin's dictatorship is considered one of the darkest examples of human rights violations and totalitarianism. Here are some concrete examples of Stalin's cruelty. During the Great Purge of 1937 to 1938, about 1.5 million people were executed. During the Holodomor famine of 1932 to 1933, about 7 million people died of starvation in Ukraine. The killing or rape of millions of people in the territories occupied by the Red Army during World War II, from 1941 to 1945. Stalin's cruelty is one of the most horrific events in history. Stalin's actions destroyed the lives of millions of people and transformed the Soviet Union into a country of fear and repression. Thank you for joining us on this journey, exploring the lives of the world's most ruthless 5 commanders. While these towering figures have left their mark on human history with their courage and cruelty, there's an essential truth we must remember. Despite the dark chapters of the past, today the world remains a place worth living in. What we must learn is to draw from past mistakes and strive to build a future of peace and understanding. We appreciate your presence on this meaningful journey. Taking small steps towards making the world a better place can make a significant difference for humanity. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts with us. Together, let's continue working towards a more livable world. Until our next videos, stay tuned with love.